This is Contractor Sense with Ruth King.
Welcome to Contractor Sense. Here you discover ideas, tactics, news, and information that matters to your contracting business and you. I'm your host, Ruth King. This episode is sponsored by Profitability Movement. Go to https://profitability-movement.mn.co to join this community of business owners focused on building profit, increasing wealth, and giving back. Thank you for joining us. Here is how we will help your business and you today. You have a great friend or someone you admire, or even your spouse, and you want to go into business together. You want a partnership. You have a partnership. Unfortunately, most partnerships that I've seen and experienced end in a disaster. So what can you do to make sure that this doesn't happen to you? My guests today, Jeff Sawyer and Matt Powers, successful partners at TruNorth Construction, give you the ways to make a partnership successful. Jeff and Matt, welcome to Contractor Sense.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thanks for having us on.
All right, my pleasure. So let's start with a little bit of background. How did you guys get together?
So we got kind of an interesting story. I was our drywaller that we were both using at the time wanted us to meet because he thought we just had a lot of synergy in terms of some of the stuff we were doing business wise. And so we met, and then I happened to decide to move out of state. Based in Connecticut, and I happened to move out of state down to Georgia for a year. And in the process, I had sold worked with a couple of customers, and I had about 4 or 5 jobs. And so I reached out to Matt and said, "Hey, Matt, I have some jobs that you could do. I'll do the upfront stuff, the customer stuff, the architectural work, and then I'll turn over to you. You just pay me a flat fee because you'll be doing it when I'm out of the state." And we kind of both, if you agree, Matt, we both kind of just realized, hey, this actually was a great way to do projects. We kind of handled both parts of the project. And then out of a turn of events, I decided to move back. And so
you didn't like Georgia, huh?
I loved Georgia. I gotta be honest. I used to live there back in the 90s, loved it. And, but my parents were getting older, and I decided it was maybe time to come back. And so it was a good year away, but I came back and I called Matt and I said, "Hey, what do you think about partnering?" And we both sat down. We just thought it was a great idea to do that. Because we've gotten to the point where I'm a little older than Matt, and I like to do certain parts of the projects. Matt likes to do certain parts of the projects, and it just seemed to be a great fit. Obviously, it's changed, it's evolved over when we started. We started out trying to just distinguish what are our roles, and that was probably the most important thing on starting the partnership is you're going to take care of this, and I'm going to take care of that, and we both kind of worked through that. And it's evolved a little bit over the last 3 or 4 years, but we've kind of settled into a great system where I manage the upfront part, customer relations, architecture work, the design part of it, billing. I run the business, the social media part of it, and then Matt handles all the field, our employees.
Yeah, but like Jeff said, it's evolved over time, but it's basically the same idea as when we first started. We did a couple projects together. Jeff ran the front end, like he had said. I ran the back end. So it's still that same business model. Just we've taken on more roles, and now that we've brought on more employees and carpenters, estimators, we've kind of delegated some of those responsibilities, but the basic model stayed exactly the same.
So neither of you do the same thing, correct?
No. We at the beginning of a project, we kind of cross paths because he's handing the project off to me. So we go over our notes, and so that I know going into the project exactly what's going to be done. So there's no dragging our feet, extending the project longer than needs to be. And I would say on the front end, meeting with the customer, we cross paths there. We kind of kept that where we both go meet with the customer when we can, because this together we're better salesmen. We work off of each other. We're able to portray how we run our business and our business model by meeting both of us. Makes people feel comfortable that they see us, the actual owners of the company, coming out and selling the job. So as much as we can, it kind of has gotten a little less and less now, especially everyone knows how the construction industry has taken off through COVID. So it's just a lot for us to try to get together and do both be both at the same project. So we try to pick the bigger, more elaborate projects to meet on together to meet the homeowner.
I mean, I think for us too, the biggest part was just in the beginning, just really defining our roles and figuring out what we both like to do in this industry and what we both wanted to do with the business. And I think that has kind of set the course for how we set up the partnership. You know, I hate estimating. Matt liked estimating, so he did that in the beginning.
Like might be a strong word.
I like the customer side of things, meeting with customers, the sales side, the interaction with helping people pick out materials and designing stuff. And so Matt doesn't like that part of it. And so it just kind of, we set up what we both like to do. And I think that's how the business has flourished, is we wake up every day and I do the things in this industry that I love to do. And he does the things he loves to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what's made our partnership a big success.
And it's it kind of works out. Before we were partners, Jeff was doing kind of exactly what he's doing. And then once construction started, he kind of managed the construction, but it was done by contractors and that. And I, on the other hand, it was hard for me to go and sell a job, and there'd be a lot of sitting around after you finish a job because I was on site doing the job. So again, that's how our partnership works.
All right. I have, who does the financials? Me with profitability and continuous profits and things like that. How do you handle the financial side?
I manage most of that. We have an accountant that does all our bookkeeping, but I manage that, watch all the funds, and then we get reports monthly, and me and Matt will go over each job to see how we did, where we need to tweak it, how we need to change our estimates. So it's kind of a collaborative effort. It's almost like how we do the rest of the business. I take care of the upfront part of it, managing the whole process. And then once we get jobs through the finish line, and then Matt will come back and we'll look at how we finished on the jobs, margins, profits.
Where to make adjustments.
Yeah, where we need to make adjustments. So we both kind of collaborate with that part of it.
So I assume that neither of you really like that part of it, because you
no.
didn't talk
Does anybody?
about it.
Does anybody like that part? I'm glad Jeff took that off. It's nice that we have the accountant to kind of take a lot of that off his plate. Because obviously neither of us want to do it. I even time to time will deposit checks, and that's a little strenuous for me. So
Wait a minute, depositing checks is
keep
fun.
Honest, I guess.
Depositing checks should be fun, correct?
Yeah, you would think.
You think it'd be an easy process, but he sometimes forgets to take a picture of it. And so I don't know what the deposit was, but we've worked through some of those things. And honestly, we collaborate on everything we do. Our social media and our marketing is a collaboration between me and Matt. I mean, we really do a lot of stuff together, but we still handle our stuff separately, which for us, our business is set up a little different. We focused our business on relationships. It's one of the key drivers, our why we're in business. And so we decided to really put an emphasis on the upfront part. So we're a little different than most contractors. I actually take all our customers to all their appointments, whether it's picking out cabinets, granite, plumbing, electrical. I'm there on every step of the phase, that phase in the front, and it makes the transition. It builds rapport with the homeowner. They get to know me. And then I have all the information. I do all the ordering of the finished materials. Mm-hmm. And when we're ready to hand over a job to Matt and the other project manager, it tends to be a seamless transition. And it's made our jobs a lot better, because I feel like our customers get the white glove treatment. And I'm constantly getting people telling us that it's just having us there to make design decisions and walk them through the process of picking out different things is a huge part of why they chose us.
Well, cool.
Yeah, that separates us from other contractors. Like I said before, when I was just a carpenter and running a business with a handful of employees, we were focused on getting the work done and that sort of thing. So we would get bogged down in jobs because, when you're doing the work, it's hard to get out in front of all the ordering and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that's a huge help. And that separates us, I feel, from other contractors, from 90% of the contractors out there trying to make a living here. So.
All right, cool. All right. When we get back from break, I have lots more questions for the two of you. So thanks for listening to Contractor Sense. We will be right back. You can't. That's what my daughter Kate told me when I said I wanted to make financials fun. The gauntlet was laid down. The red blanket was waved in front of the bowl. Ronan the Rubber Duck was born. This ebook is a whimsical look at financials from a duck's perspective. To get this fun, easy-to-read Kindle book, go to Amazon and search for Ronan the Rubber Duck Dives into Financials. That's RONAN, the Rubber Duck Dives into Financials. Let me know if I made financials fun for you. We're back. Thanks for listening to Contractor Sense. I'm speaking with Jeff Sawyer and Matt Powers, the partners at TruNorth Construction. And Jeff and Matt, if somebody has a question or they want to find out more about you, where do they go?
They can find us we're on Facebook, Instagram, TruNorthConstruction.com is our website. And we make it really difficult for people. We spell true, TRU. So it's TRU NorthConstruction.com. You can find us there. You can message us on any of those outlets.
Terrific. All right. So let's go back to the beginning, kind of. All right. You two sit down and you decide that, yeah, we want to do this as a partnership. Did you have a partnership agreement? How did that initial piece work? Was there legal involved, or how did that work?
We actually set up the business. We had sat in the conference room and laid out our roles and our responsibilities, how we wanted the business to go. And we kind of started the business that way. And then we brought in an attorney to set up the business agreement kind of after we were started a little bit. But we do have a buy-sell agreement. We have an agreement for if Matt wants to get out of the business or I want to get out of the business, we have all that in place. We went through that process with the attorney, agreed on all the terms. We did an evaluation of what we thought the business was going to be. And that's kind of how we set up the buy-sell agreement. But that was an easy process. It was just a matter of us sitting down and kind of figuring out
What worked for both of us.
what worked for both of us and how we wanted to handle it. But I think that's it's a huge piece. You have to have that. Because I'm a little older than Matt, and I'll eventually retire before he does.
He's saying a little bit older. It's quite a bit.
And I'll retire before he does. So ultimately, we have to have that security that I'll be able to, get out of the business and Matt can carry on the business. So it's important to have that legal part of it.
Yeah, suppose he wants to leave with you.
We'll sell the business. We'll sell it together.
Yeah.
I think he's
I'd
going
like to retire at 50. That'd be great.
I think he's going to be in this for probably another 15 years after me anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So anyway, okay. So you did that. And I assume there's also something, if something happened to one of you and got disabled, that's part of it too, correct? Yeah.
Absolutely. We have that. We have health insurance policies for both of us that is in place that if one of us happens to have an accident, then it'll help our families.
Or pass away, unfortunately.
Yeah. So we did put that in place as well as part of the buy-sell agreement and the partnership agreement.
Yeah. Well, the good part about it is that you will not be in business with the other partner's spouse if one of you passes away.
Exactly. That was kind of the.
I'm single, Ruth, so it was easy for me to. So I would have to deal with Matt's significant other. So we made.
She's wonderful. He'd love it.
I'm sure she is, Matt.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So we're into this partnership agreement. You're running the business. You do communicate, I assume. Do you have monthly partner meetings, or how does that work?
We meet weekly as much as we can. A lot of times the work will get in the way. We'll just be too bogged down with we have to be somewhere. So we've actually recently we were doing Monday mornings with us two owners. We have a third partner who's a minority partner, the guy who had got us together. And then we have project managers. So we'll meet every week, kind of go over the jobs, where we're at, what's coming up, the week that's coming up. And then every other week we'll meet with our actual contractors, our in-house employees. And they'll kind of tell us anything that's going on in the field, where we can make changes, just so everyone's kind of on the same page. And it's a good way to get everybody together at least a couple times a month.
We do talk probably way too much on the phone.
I would say 35 times a day.
We tend to have a call right in the morning and just kind of touch base, hey, what's up for the day? And then we just, whenever we need each other, we're on the phone constantly. So, that communication, whether it's texting, emailing, but most of the time it's just a quick conversation.
Yeah.
All right. So what happens if you two get in a fight and you can't agree?
I mean, we've been in 2 arguments and they were like 30 seconds since we've been a partner. You know, I'm going to say, so me and Jeff, when we started this partnership, we had met, we had done a few jobs together and we were friendly. We weren't, you know, we barely knew each other. We done jobs together for a few months and that was that. And then when he came back, we were fortunate. Like we became great friends through it. It was just an easy, you know, it wasn't, I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, it wasn't a difficult, like we're friends first and then the business. So
Yeah.
it's actually been just an easy transition through this whole process. And, you know, the couple of the arguments we've had, we dealt with them right away.
Yeah.
You know, it was, and actually one of the big arguments was well, it wasn't a big argument, but it actually shifted on some of the responsibilities on how each
We
one
did
of us
things.
was going to do things. So it was good that it happened because it kind of forced us to realign some of the direction of the business. So, but really we don't generally have blow ups.
No.
I mean, we'll get in a couple of tiffs every once in a while,
Yeah, like
but
just,
that's just
you know,
everyday stress and everyday reality. And we both realize, look, we're in a stressful business and a stressful time, and it's part of the process.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's like family members, honestly. We know each other's personalities, so it's easy to adjust and adapt to make it all work.
Yes, because I'm going on vacation tomorrow for a week. So Matt knows the week before I go on vacation, I'm an absolute lunatic.
Yeah. And I'm not telling him any of the issues we're having at job, so he's not stressed.
And so I can get all the stuff off my plate, and Matt understands that, and I get it. It's nice. And I
I
got
can be forgetful. Jeff understands that.
I got to tell you, one of the best parts of the partnership is the fact that we can take a vacation and actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, you can kind of put everything beside, you know, someone's back wherever, you know, back home running things, and it's got your back, and it really makes taking vacations so much more enjoyable. I had my own business. Matt had his own business previously, and you would just be stressed out the whole week.
Yep.
This week I can shut it off and I can enjoy the week and come back to it and know that someone else is taking care of things. And that's a huge life balance thing that we really strive for in this business. And that it's such a help.
Financially also, you know, when I was working for myself, by myself, when you didn't work, you didn't make money. You know, there was nothing happening. So you were spending money on vacation. And then when you got back, you're like, I haven't worked in a week. There's no money coming in. So again, that added to the stress. Now the business just keeps rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Matt, final thoughts on a successful partnership.
It's got to be an open dialogue. You like we had talked about. You have to stay in constant contact. You got to be willing to adjust and adapt. If things are bothering you, you gotta say them. And I think that's kind of my advice.
Jeff, your thoughts on a successful partnership?
Find someone that does the opposite of things that you do. Find someone that likes to do the things you don't like to do, and you can take them off your plate because it makes your day a lot better. And having a partner to do the things that I don't want to do anymore is just been heaven sent. Like I can focus on the things I really like, and that's been a game changer for me. It's really made our business enjoyable to get up every morning and come to work because I'm doing the things I love, and he's doing the things he loves. I think
And
that's
you're making
very
money.
important. And making money. It's important.
That's kind of why we do this whole thing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, if you're not generating profit, you can't grow, you can't feed your employees and all the other fun things that go along. Jeff and Matt, thank you so much for being here. Give us the how to contact you one more time.
TruNorthConstruction.com, and it's TruNorthConstruction.com, and we're on Facebook and Instagram with the same True North Construction.
Okay, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you very
Thanks
much
for having us.
And thank you for joining us. Choose one thing that you discovered and implement it in your business. These ideas, tactics, and strategies help you make more money, have more free time, and give back. If you like today's program, spread the word. Please review this podcast on any device you're listening to it on. Help a fellow contractor make more money too. For comments or questions, call me at 770-729-0258 or email Ruth King at hvacchannel.tv. Thanks for listening. Have a great and profitable day.